they were much more physical and aggressive in the first half. And even at halftime, like I told my coaches and said to the players too, I don't know if I've ever been more ecstatic about being down 6 points because it felt like we were down 20. They just really took to us. I thought they had a good game plan. They got tough kids. They came in. Their emotions were under control. We were listless, and sometimes you get a crowd like that, and that's what happens. Your kids get burned out even before the game starts, and then you want to beat somebody so bad that you're tight, and that's exactly what I was watching in the first half. And then obviously the second half was the flip of that. We were the aggressor. We were 50 times better defensively. We adjusted our defensive strategy a little bit in terms of what we did with Marshall. We just came and trapped him, get the ball out of his hands. Because I think the one thing about Marshall that is very underrated is how good a passer he is, and how good a decision maker he is, and how patient he is when he catches it down there. I mean, he's a heck of a good basketball player, and obviously we just don't have that kind of beef inside to deal with him. And so we have to do other things. And in the second half, we did that. We adjusted it and came after him and got it out of his hands. And we were just more aggressive.
Question for Coach.
Coach, that's last year you had that thing going where it was the opposite. You had so many good first halves when you were playing defense right in front of your bench. And you talked about what a difference that was. It seems like this year it's the opposite, though. When the second half at home has been really good.
I don't know what to tell you about that. I agree with you that it was like that. I mean, honestly, really the only thing I've changed from last year is the end of the floor in practice that we work on defense is that end. Now, it used to just always be on this end because that's kind of where we walked in and we just everything, and that's the only thing we've changed. I can't believe that that's the difference, quite frankly, that we changed ends of the floor, the defense we work on. But I thought, this is the most important half. This is the end that we defend on, and so when we work on defense, this is where we're going to work. When we work on offense, we work on the other end. Other than that, I don't know how to explain it. Part of it was just a sense of pride. We were getting our tails handed to us, and our guys responded, and so I was proud to see that.
Scott, you've been here a long time. Can you describe what it's like for you?
What's a long time for you?
18 years. Okay.
I'm kidding.
Can you describe what it's like for you and the players to play in an environment like this?
It's, South Coast State's such a great place. Number one, the people. We've always had good fans, and obviously, with us having better basketball teams, particularly the last few years, they've really come back to us because that's what people want to see. They want to see fun basketball, and they want to see teams win. But they're such a big part of it. They really are, and it's such a huge advantage to play here. It's a great home court advantage, and we've had good teams, particularly past years in terms of talent. And then when you get crowds like that give you the energy, because we had none in the first half, and then we gave them something to yell about, and then we kind of fed off of it, and then it kind of got fun for everybody. But we always feel like we just have such tremendous fans, and they've always been loyal. Even when we were, I don't know how to say it, but we weren't very good there when we made that transition. Obviously, we lose people, but our main people were always very positive, very loyal, never left us, and those are the people that I appreciate the most, because now they're seeing the benefits of how positive they are.
It's kind of obvious they're waiting for that run.
Yeah.
Is it almost like you and the players are waiting for that run too, especially at home? Or?
Well, we can't make runs unless we get stops, and we were getting none in the first half. And when we did, we couldn't get the rebound. It has down 9 rebounds at halftime, and so there was just no way to pick up the pace of the game. I always say it's much easier for a team to slow the game down than it is to speed it up. NDSU has, I think they've changed the way that they played last year. They're much more deliberate. And they're going to the post a lot more, which I don't blame them, because Marshall's one heck of a good basketball player, and they put good shooters around him. And so I would do the same thing. I'd be throwing it to him every time. but it's easy. It's always easier for a team to slow the game down than it is to speed up, particularly the way that we play, because it isn't like we're a pressing team. We don't get out in passing lanes. We defend. Our half-court philosophies are probably pretty similar to NDSU's in terms of trying to pack it in and make it difficult, make them shoot threes. And so it's hard to speed the game up that way. And so the only way we can speed it up is by getting stops, rebounding, and running. And second half, we got that done.
Did you estimate, Scott, you're double teaming Marshall more without Braun in the lineup?
Well, we would do it the same if he was in there. Just because, I mean, you got to pick your poison. And when a guy's shooting 70%, leading the country and scoring, you better make somebody else beat you. And so when we played in the first time, we really hadn't spent any time trapping. We were trying to take people one-on-one in the post. You know, and since then we've faced not only him, but you look at Parks. You know, when you look at Petros from Oakland. I mean, we've had to figure something out because we just don't have the beef inside, and so we've got to use different strategies to try to stop people from scoring inside and make them, shoot contested jump shots. And so we've worked on it way more since then, and that's why we did it more here. And so it doesn't have really anything to do with him being out at all. It just has to do with we have to stop the post before we stop anything else.
Scott, I think you held them scoreless something like 9 minutes in the start of the second half. What stood out to you that was most important or most impressive about
just
that?
Rebounding, that, and I don't know how. I mean, I think we ended up rebounding one, which means we beat them by 10 in the second half, and our guards got involved. Braden and Chad and Nate, they got involved on the glass, and that was a difference. We weren't giving them 2 and 3 shots like we did in the first half, and then we were able to go.
Coach, it seems like this is a team that is kind of waiting for that big second half run in order to make a difference in the game. Is that something that concerns you at all?
No, I'm not. I mean, we've had big first halves too. So no, I'm not overly concerned about patterns and things like that. I'm really not. I think that sometimes our team is just so low key. Sometimes I feel like I gotta see if they're awake, and shake them and wake them up. That's good sometimes. Like when you go into Western Illinois, and that's good that I've got a calm team. But sometimes you gotta have a little oomph, and we're missing that sometimes just because we have such calm kids. But they work through it. They get it figured out. We've done a good job of getting ourselves back in the conference race. And we had a tough first half of the season in terms of conference schedule because five of the 8 games were on the road, and so we're going to see the benefits of it here on the back end if we take care of home. But I'm not worried about kind of patterns like that.
I think you had a stretch where you went through every injury in the book there for a few years.
Well, yeah, I mean,
how do teams get through it?
I mean, I could write a book, Jeff. I mean, just all the things that happened to us there for a stretch, just very, very odd things I've never seen before. But you get through by being good defensively, and that's how they're going to do it. I mean, you look, they lost Braun. And the next game they go in and they win by almost 40. It's because they're good defensively, and that's their, that's what they have to go back to, and they will be. I mean, Saul is a tremendous coach, and defensively they are tough. They have an anchor in their center, and so they don't have to get out of position to guard a post defensively like we do. And that's a huge benefit for them. And they're leading the league in defensive field goal percentage, and it's a reason they're leading the league. They were the top team in the league.
Coach, you got a veteran team that was sort of in the conference race last year. Do you feel pretty good about just their mindset here as you hit the second half of the conference season and where they're at, and kind of their understanding of just the importance of every game and just how it goes when you're in this position?
Yeah, I mean, we should. I mean, we're playing 6 juniors and seniors, and 2 of those juniors are fourth-year guys. So we certainly should have an understanding, and I mean, the experience factor should be on our side in many games. But it is like everybody says, man, it's a big game coming up. I mean, every game I hear that from people, and sometimes I get worn out by it. They're all big, and we do the very best we can do to treat them all exactly the same in terms of preparing for them, but you know, some of it is talking about the mentality of the team coming in. And so, you know, what's the mentality of NDSU come in, and what do we need? What do we need to know about that? What will be the mentality of USD come in our next game, and talk about those things, because we can live off the experience of when we've lost, you know, and when NDSU's coming off the Western loss, there's a sense of desperation, and you're going to you tend to play with a little more energy, and they did. You know, we were just able to respond in the second half. And so, but in terms of how we prepare, we don't try to blow one game up any more than any other, and we never will. It's just not the way I operate.
Couple more, Coach?